I have nothing but utter respect for Martin as an actor. I think what he manages to do with that role is phenomenal.
Actor Ian McNeice of Doc Martin answers fan questions in this first of two special podcasts. I'm Eric Luskin from American Public Television. In November 2015, we asked Doc Martin fans to send in questions for Ian via Facebook. It resulted in a wide-ranging conversation that took place in Atlanta, Georgia, where Ian also met with public television programmers. Gloria has asked, would you go out on a date with me tomorrow night?
Well, if you're over 65, the answer is definitely yes. If you're under 65, I'd have to vet you. That's the only say. But listen, Gloria, if you're any age, I'd be there in a heartbeat, quite frankly.
We have a question from Donna, who asks, would you be willing to work on season 8? We all feel like you're part of the town, and we love Bert and Al.
Well, listen, how nice of you to say that. Now, I don't think it's a mystery to anybody that if there was going to be a Series 8, I would be delighted to be in it. And we're all pushing for it, quite frankly. I know the whole cast would like to do Series 8, including Martin, who's always said it on various chat shows that he's been on. And his wife, I think, would like to do Series 8. It's a question of whether ITV, the company that fund the program, would like to do Series 8. The viewing figures have been very, very good, and we've had a really warm reception to this last series. Everybody thinks it's one of the best, as I do, and so the answer is definitely yes. And keep your fingers crossed that it happens, because yes is the answer.
Jean writes in and asks, what is your favorite scene that you've done for Doc Martin in all of the years that you've been on the show?
I've asked that question a few times now, and I refer to a scene that I did with my son. It was an episode where it came into discussion whether or not he was in fact my son, and a very touching episode. It's the one where Al confronts his dad, tries to get a birth certificate, and finds out that actually something went wrong along the line, but in fact he is his son, so no, but it was a very sweet episode.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, it had me crying in my little red truck.
We have a question from Carol, who asks what it is like to act with Martin Clunes, and he wonders if you've ever had a disagreement with him.
Martin and I actually go back way back. We both appeared in a movie called The Russia House, which had Sean Connery in it and Michelle Pfeiffer. We both had smallish roles in that, and we've known each other since that. So a long time ago, and I've been a friend of Martin for many, many years now. We have never had any conflict between ourselves. It's always been a very amicable relationship, and I have nothing but utter respect for Martin as an actor. I think what he manages to do with that role is phenomenal. I mean, I watch him do those lengthy expositions of his medical goo-gag stuff that he has to do, and it's spot on. Apart from the outtakes, which you'll see in that show, It'll Be All Right on the Night, when he swears at various things because he can't get them right. But he is phenomenal. And what he does when he has to do all his syringing or minor operations or surgical procedures is incredible. And so I have nothing but utter respect for him. And he's great to work with because he's so funny. The atmosphere on the set is always great and warm. It heads from the top, it spreads down from him. And so it's a very happy working environment, and long may it continue.
Sherry, I think it's Sherry, Cherie, asks, it's kind of a personal question, but where does your sense of humor come from?
Oh, do you know what? I can pinpoint it quite easily for you. As a child, I had a stammer. So I was not only quite a large child, I was a fat boy, but I also had a stammer too, and I got teased because I had a stammer and because I was fat. And my way out was making people laugh. So I found that if I made people laugh, they would not be so cruel to me, and that's where it all came from. And so I went from strength to strength with that, really. And it wasn't until, and I was really saddened by the fact that I wanted to do something I always wanted to do. My dad was a terrific sportsman, and nothing would have given him more pleasure than I'd been in the first 15 rugby team or the cricket team, none of which happened, of course. But I found this little outlet that somehow I could act in the school plays, and because of it, they made me a school prefect, and I scored in that direction, and that was all to do with humor. And hearing people laugh on a stage is the best drug in the world, and so that's where it all came from. So that's where I got it from. That's where the humor comes from.
I appreciate that personal note, because I was unaware of that, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you what guidance or advice you would have for people who may have children or, in fact, themselves experience that kind of a situation.
Yes, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because, I mean, certainly being bullied at school is a really horrendous thing. And so being able to overcome it, having the strength to do that, and somehow is what it takes. And luckily, I was able to overcome those situations. I still have, I mean, from time to time, I can't tell you how many cups of tea I've had because I really wanted a cup of coffee and I couldn't say, can I have a cup of coffee? Okay, I have a cup of tea, you know. So that's a classic case. But I was known as McNeice Toto Morrow. That was hello Toto. So that was my nickname at school, Toto. But that was fine. But as I said, I hit the big time because I could make people laugh, and that was a huge deal.
Thank you for sharing that.
No,
I think
please.
people will appreciate that. Steering back to Bert, Lalani,
Hello, Lonnie.
Asks how you like the character of Bert Large. Do you like the man that you play?
Oh, I think he's extraordinary because, I mean, he is this total, I mean, he's like Mr. Micawber, isn't he, from Dickens? You know, it'll be all right on the night. Something will turn up, always. Something will actually turn, even in the last series that we've had, he's just gone from absolute failure with losing his fiancée, losing his restaurant, losing where he lives, and yet there's a silver lining, and he's such an optimist. He's always looking for the best in things. And he's a total scoundrel, isn't he? Let's face it. I mean, if there's a buck to be made, somehow he'll do it, and he'll work at it. And I love playing him because he's such a twinkly character. He's great.
Actor Ian McNeice, Bert Large from Doc Martin. Be sure to join us for part 2 of our conversation, sparked entirely from fan questions. Doc Martin is seen in the U.S. on public television. DVDs are available at retail.